Welcome to Insider Chatter, the show where we chat, argue, and wax poetic about everything in the world of movie news, with some TV sprinkled throughout the show as well. I'm your host, Mike, the novice cinephile. That's my buddy Nate. He
Hi.
knows movies. Nate, it's been a while. How you been?
Good. I had texted you, was it yesterday? Because this
Yep.
week has been crammed with movie news and TV news. That I'm like, it's now or never.
Took a little winter break, but we are back with an incredible show, incredible slate of things to talk about. Um, I just want to talk about some of the things we've been watching because it's been a minute. So I've
Yes.
been watching Invincible and One Piece.
Okay.
One Piece is phenomenal. You guys need to watch it. Have you ever started the live action for One Piece, Nate?
I've been meaning to, and once right now I'm watching my screeners because I'm reviewing it for Your Friends and Neighbors season 2. So once I finish that and my screeners for the boys that have not come yet, I want to get on to One Piece because I've heard this new season was great.
This new season's a ton of fun. I'll put it this way: they're a bunch of goofy pirates going on an adventure. The sets are mostly practical, so it feels like an epic show compared to most of the series we've seen filmed on like the volume and everything. I'm not
Yeah.
a straw hat, but if you see in our Discord server, our buddy Cliff, he just watched like episode 5, and he's like, "They fought a dinosaur," and I feel like that was apt to bring up today because there's a story about someone dealing with dinosaurs,
Yes.
but the dinosaur is practical, and
Oh
it's
my god.
amazing. It's a practical. There's a screenshot in the Discord. I might put it up on screen here, but there's a fight in like episode 3 where Zoro, he's the guy with the swords, has to
Mhm.
fight 100 men, and he fights 100 men in like this crazy oneer. It's so sick.
Okay, you sold me.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, and I'm watching Invincible, which we both can talk about. I know. Did you finish
Yes.
the season? Did they send you all the screeners?
They sent me, just like with last season, they sent me the first
Mm-hmm.
6. And then I don't know when they're going to send me the final 2, but soon. But I was liking this new season up until an episode you also have a lot of thoughts on.
Yeah, episode 4 is rough. Mark goes on this side quest to hell, literally hell, Satan's
Yeah.
domain. He interacts with Satan and everything. Um, and I'm just sitting there like, why are we doing this? Damien Darkblood shows up, who we see him in like episode 1 of the show and haven't really seen him
Mhm.
since. Um, and it's like, okay. Also, we did some weird things with Adam Eve. And like, why is her only friend William? Did she not have friends before she met Mark?
I guess they changed his voice actor. I didn't notice because it was
Yeah.
like Andrew Rannells, and I'm like, he can't be that high in like demand.
A lot of voice actors have been like slowly being swapped out. I
I
remember where yeah, Mahershala Ali is just like not the
Yeah,
show anymore. Ezra
no,
Miller not the show anymore. It's just like, all right,
it
we've got
will
to
be.
talk about this news story though. We're going back in time to a
Yeah.
classic. Run us through it.
All right. So our first movie news story was something that I was not expecting this week. And so HBO Max, even if it's going to shutter soon because bullshit, um, they're launching now in the UK and Ireland. And part of that launch, they finally unveiled the first trailer, not finally, because it's not coming out until Christmas Day, of the Harry Potter reboot live action TV show. Um, this has been something that's been very divisive. Um, I definitely have a lot of thoughts on it. I mean, I grew up reading the books and seeing the movies as they came in theaters, and I think my question is just why. Um, I get money,
Okay.
but most of the cast, which of the cast of the original movies, which um, I understandably do not want to work with J.K. Rowling, which I wouldn't either.
I'm
HBO.
going to take a second here, Nate, and we're gonna just look into the camera for a sec.
Mhm.
We do not support J.K. Rowling, and we're talking about this trailer as a trailer. We're not endorsing any of J.K. Rowling's behavior, actions, or opinions.
No.
We just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. Thank you.
When they announced they're doing a TV show, I'm like, okay, well, Fantastic Beasts kind of failed. I think they should have just done that as a one-off movie instead of just making it its own thing. And so we're getting this rebooted TV show. And it's just jarring for me because recasting these three characters is like if you recast, you know, Luke, Leia, and Han, like, and recapping the story of the original Star Wars, or if you recast Frodo and Gandalf, and you redid Lord of the Ring, The Fellowship of the Ring as a TV show. That's what it feels like to me. And it's just kind of jarring because it's so soon. And like, even if you go to the Universal Studios parks, like the Harry Potter sections, they're themed to the movies. Like the actors from the movies show up, like in like things when you're waiting in the line in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
All the designs based on the movies. So it's like, better not. First of all, they better not change those. I don't think they will, unless the show just completely demolishes, which I think it will. It already became the most viewed HBO trailer in history, which makes sense. So I have a lot of different feelings. I don't like the lighting, how they're making it look so dark when the first two movies were so like light and vibrant. Because I've been questioning this and being like, why are we doing this besides money? It doesn't look bad. I thought the trailer, as its own, if you take out the Harry Potter name, it's a decent trailer. I don't agree. People were saying, oh, this is Sora. I'm like, if you want to see a Sora movie trailer,
Oh God.
we'll get to it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is not that. It looks like decent, but I still don't really understand why.
You understand why, you just don't want to accept the why as an answer. It's money. David Zaslav, I forget which investors call it was, but it had to have been like in 2024, right? Where he's like, oh, we have so many iconic brands and IP that we can be mining for content. And that's the thing. You have to remember, when these executives speak, it's content. It's not art. Which hurts our cinephile souls, but it's like, why wouldn't I make another Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I make another Superman movie? And we're all way more forgiving of them making like the DCU stuff because that does make sense, and we'd watch that. You know, like Superman is a character that has existed for 80 years and has had millions of stories told.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter has just had the one series of books and a beginning, middle, and end. And so yeah, your comparison of like casting iconic characters like Luke and Leia or Frodo and Sam, like, I get it, but we also are getting the Lord of the Rings, which we'll talk about in another segment. We might want to just bump that up to this segment too and just like rant about how art is being lost because these studios need to make money. I feel like that's kind of the entire theme of this show, because the next trailer we're going to talk about is very similar to this. But as somebody who's never watched Harry Potter, I almost contemplated doing like a Harry Potter reaction series on this channel where I would watch them for the first time. If that's something you guys want us to do, I can do that. You know, we can make it a group party and we can have a watch party, and I can do that too. But I have no connection to this story, to these characters. So this trailer, it just felt like a trailer for the original movie to me, because it's like, yeah, I have ideas of what this story is, even though I've never seen the first Harry Potter film in its entirety. The trailer's good, but yeah, like its need to exist, it goes against everything we love as film fans, because you and I and the people who are listening to this podcast like movies. We love movies. And the beauty of movies is being able to be taken back to that specific era, right? Star Wars: A New Hope is a classic, and you're going to have your kids watch it, and they're going to grow up with those characters, and they're going to love it, and they're going to respect it for being a movie that came out before the 1980s, before we had all the CGI and the special effects. We can respect it for when it came out and it represented cinema for that era. But we are in this era of remakes where it's like, we got to make it cooler, we got to make it longer, we've got to mine all the information and give the fans and keep bleeding the fans while it's dry. And I just don't like that. Like the Harry Potter had like 7 movies.
8.
8 movies. They still hold up. The last movie came out when? In like what, 2016, 2015?
2011. 2011.
2011.
Almost part 2.
Yeah. So those movies still hold up, is my point.
Yeah.
We are still getting MCU movies from a franchise that was around that same time, you know? And it's just like, to me, we can let the Harry Potter IP, if we're gonna do something like this, I'd rather just tell a story with a new character. I think that's the way you can go about it.
Mhm.
I don't know how the lore ends to where if that's possible. Maybe that eighth book, that eighth movie, all the wizards die. I don't know, but
the It's 7 books, and they just
yeah,
split the 7th book into 2 movies. But there is the play, The Cursed Child, and I think that's what they wanted to do because that
sure.
would bring money, and that's why the cast went.
At that point, do you recast or do you just do this? If you were David Zaslav, would you say remake or recast and do that follow up?
I mean, you would probably have to do this. I
Yeah,
mean, they tried doing a prequel franchise, like I alluded to earlier with the Fantastic Beasts, and it failed. The first
yeah,
movie did very well, and then I thought this first Fantastic Beasts was decent. It was fun, and then the second movie came out, and it was not good at all. And the third movie bombed completely at the box office, and it was a very big problem film for Warner Brothers. That came out during COVID. It was like 2022.
was this the same time when they were uploading all of the movies on Max, or was this like shortly after?
This was after. It didn't go day and date, but the, that's the thing. It's like it's just weird. Like the kids look good. Like they look like how I would imagine like a rebooted. Like the boy playing Harry looks uncanny. It's
Yeah,
kind of unnerving. Just how much he looks like the book, like or even Daniel Radcliffe. I think Ron looks great. I think Hermione looks great. Um, you know, Um, but I just don't know how I feel about this. I mean, the cast is good. I like John Lithgow. I like the guy they got as Snape. He was really good in this TV show on Netflix, Black Doves. He had a small role. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. They have a good creative team behind it. Uh, One of the writers of Succession, Francesca Gardner, is show running, and then Mark Mylod, who directed a lot of Succession. He also directed The Menu, the movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Ray Fiennes from a couple years ago, which was very. I know
yeah.
not everyone loved that. I really enjoyed that movie, so like, we'll see. I think chances are it'll turn out like decent, but I'm just I I'm very conflicted because before I'm like I'm not even gonna give it like a shot, and I'm like I'm probably gonna be curious because the trailer I was like okay, I
Yeah,
don't know how I feel, but I'll probably watch it because it's going to dominate the pop culture conversation.
and it drops on Christmas Day of this year. So like, I know that Harry Potter for a lot of people means a lot around the holidays.
Yes, it
So
does.
maximizing that window. Christmas is on a Friday this year as well,
Yep.
so people can binge the series that entire weekend. Well, I don't know how many episodes they're going to drop. It might just be one weekly with HBO. But I think, I mean, I do want to know, like, having read the books and watched the movies, is there
Mhm.
enough that was left out of the movies that they can kind of mine and like flesh out the world and tell a deeper story? I
In
know
the
with Lord
later
of the
book,
Rings, but I was gonna say, I know in Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of characters that don't even exist in those movies,
yeah,
and it's like, if they ever did have the guts to remake Fellowship, they can at least make it different.
yeah.
So, is that a possibility here?
The first 2 movies it's been years since I've even seen the movies. I've read the books. This was still
Sure.
like middle school, grade school, Nate. But the later books is where they have a lot more changes because those books, the later books in the series, are thick. I think like Order of the Phoenix is like over 800 pages long. That's for a
Mm,
kid's book.
yeah.
Um, I know they're made for all ages, but like they are tailored to, a younger readership. Like the books have a lot in them. They're not like dense, but so much happens that they can expand on it. I think they'll probably do like backstory episodes or,
Sure.
bottle episodes following, I don't know, Hagrid's snow day adventure. That was in the trailer. Um,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah, I think what I at least appreciate, because I know we've spent like 15 minutes being super negative. What I do appreciate is that they're doing this as a series. And
Yes.
so that automatically does change the entire vibe from it being a movie originally. So one thing I think would be really cool, and I don't know what the release cadence is going to be for this. I don't know if it's going to be a Stranger Things 2 years between episodes, or if
That's
it'll
what
be
they
a
said
se-
recently. I
Okay,
mean, they start filming the second season later this year, I think. I think that's
sure,
what they initially wanted to do because the kids are going to grow up very fast. They're at that age.
yeah,
But I mean, the movies didn't even come out every year.
yeah.
So
I just think existing in that world, because I know how much fans of this franchise just love that world. I mean, look at Hogwarts Legacy. You know,
yeah.
like it being able to tell stories in that universe for a decade. 10
Mhm.
episode seasons every 2 years. I think that means something. I think there's something to be had in a new experience, a new way to experience that story. And of course, you always have we're going to have a new generation of kids growing
Mhm.
up with Harry Potter. Um, do we want a new generation of kids growing up with J.K. Rowling and having to reckon with that? I don't know. but,
Not.
but, I like this trailer was okay. The cast looks really good. The creative team behind it is good. I'll give it a try. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, back to what you asked me. One more thing about this,
Sure.
but you're asking me if I'm David Zaslav, what do I do? And I don't know. This would probably be next to impossible, but just buy the Harry Potter rights outright, spend billions upon billions of dollars, so J.K. Rowling isn't associated. I don't think she'll ever give it up,
Yeah.
though. That's the thing. But we didn't think the Broccoli family would give up the rights to James Bond. They finally did with Amazon. It should
That's
probably
fair.
get a little bit of royalty fees anyway, so I don't know. But
Buy it from her, and then everybody else will be willing to work with you again. That's your play.
that would be what I would do, and I would just make the cursed child. Even though the story of that play is very, very flawed, it starts great, and then the second act happens, and it becomes very fan fictiony. That's what I would do, because regardless of how divisive that story is, it would make like buckets of money. I would say that would be like a end game level event or a Force Awakens level event.
$1 billion. So if we can
2 billion, I would say.
$2 billion. So if we put in $1 billion to get this from J.K. Rowling, it's worth the investment. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, especially if they
Gotcha.
did that like two parts as well. Like
Oh yeah. Or you could
that
just continue the franchise from there. I mean, we're doing a freaking hunt for Gollum.
would.
you can tell an original story
Yeah.
and just keep it going. I, I'm never gonna get over the hunt for Gollum. Why do we care? What are we doing with that? We'll
I
get to
don't know.
that later. But speaking of unnecessary remakes,
Yes.
Disney dropped a trailer for their next live action remake, and I am just going to try and pull up the footage because we need to talk about Moana. You can tell that we're filming on the volume. You
Looks
can
more like
tell.
Sora.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Yeah. So Moana is a live action remake of the animated movie Moana. And if you're wondering, I could have sworn we just had Moana. We did have Moana 2 like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Uh,
Less than
and
2 years.
so, jeez, time flies, man. That's crazy. But yeah, so if you're this trailer is weird to me because it's just Moana's greatest hits. I've seen that movie a lot. And we're just reliving iconic moments from the movie, but they look worse. Look at this. Look at this. I just want I just want to stop for a second. Dwayne the Rock Johnson, love you, love your work half the time, but this is not working. The wig's not working. I feel like a lot of Maui's personality and charm is lost when I'm looking at like 55-year-old Dwayne the Rock Johnson trying to play that same persona he did 10 years ago. I have so many issues with this. And this goes back to what I was saying about Harry Potter. So I'm just going to expand on it a bit here. I feel like these remakes are bad for the industry because it, especially in this case, we keep remaking these animated movies into live action because of the need to turn these things into real movies, right? Moana is a beautiful movie. Yeah. It is one of Disney animation's best movies of like the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I'd say I like that movie better than both of the Frozen movies personally. But you know, it's like we don't need to constantly we did this with Avatar: The Last Airbender, we did this with The Lion King, we're doing this with Moana. It's like we're taking some of these classic works of fiction and making them worse. And it's gonna make $1 billion. I already know it's gonna make $1 billion. And they're just gonna keep doing it. And it's like we've reached the point where, did you see that? I don't know if we have that in our notes, but like there was that rumor that Disney's gonna do another like Cinderella like movie.
Oh, the Stepsisters.
The Stepsisters. And it's like we already remade Cinderella. So now we're like mining the remakes again because we're not making new stuff.
The thing with that one is that's been in development for a while. And they've been doing that. It's not going to be like a sequel or a remake, I think, because that's the Lonely Island guys. Keith Schaefer is doing that.
I do like the Lonely Island crew. I'm not going to lie.
I did. I did love the Naked Gun reboot that came out last year. And I think that one makes a little more sense because they're also doing a Prince Charming movie, but it's not going to be a medieval movie. It's going to be kind of like a, oh no, he comes to modern, like an Enchanted kind of thing. I think with like Chris Hemsworth. I think he's the one who was cast. Which, okay, so, but at the same time with this, I don't know if it's going to make $1 billion. This July is stacked.
It's Moana, though.
Comes out a week after Minions, though.
It's Moana, though. Moana isn't Moana like the most watched movie in like streaming history?
Yeah. I don't know that like the reception to this trailer is bad. Like
it is. But you're watching the internet and your Twitter algorithm say it's bad.
But
there's a bunch of children that are going to watch this with their parents and drag their parents to see it 3 times all summer.
I think it's going to get close to $1 billion. But I don't know if $1 billion yet, because I think what carried Lilo and Stitch over the edge was the marketing for that movie was very clever and great, regardless of how the movie was. Marketing was great, and it had people our age going to see it. Nobody our age is going to see Moana unless they have to.
So this might be a hot take. I think right now Moana's cultural impact on families is higher than Lilo and Stitch. Like millennials and people our age love Stitch, sure, but like kids love Moana, and that's what's gonna dictate the market. So it might make the same amount as Lilo and Stitch, which is still over $1 billion, I think, but I think it gets there faster. I think Lilo and Stitch just had crazy legs. This might get it all in like 3 weekends over the summer, and the parents say no more.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just don't want to accept it because I'm like, I know the Smash Machine really crashed and burned at the box office, but I thought that movie, and he filmed this before that movie came out.
Yeah.
So he still probably thought, he's like, this is going to be my post-Oscar win Terry film, which that's questionable, Dwayne. Love you, but no.
It looks like an SNL skit, bro.
It looks like the Bambi.
Yes.
Yeah, that was incredible. But like, I don't want to see Dwayne doing these well, we're going to talk about one of his franchises later, which is a franchise I still do like, and I'm like, okay, that's a smart move because people like that. Well, people love Moana too, but I'm like, Disney's not going to learn because they keep, like, when one of their live action remakes like bombs, they're like, okay, we're going to scale back, and then something like Lilo and Stitch makes $1 billion, and they're like, nope, we're putting Tangled right back into priority.
I wonder what changes because a news story that we're actually talking about is that we have a new head of Disney, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder how that changes because we'll talk about that in a different story as we get through the show. But like Disney had a deal that they had set up, and it's like, nope, we're not doing that anymore.
Yep.
So I do wonder if, like, at least with the stepsisters, I brought that up just to say we're mining Cinderella again because the well is dry.
Yeah.
But I would rather movies be like the stepsisters pitch or a Cruella, where it's like we're taking that IP and doing a twist. That's why
For
Maleficent
Maleficent.
works. Right,
Like I didn't
exactly.
care for those movies that much, but like they were different enough. It wasn't just a direct adaptation of the movies. But people complained there too because they're like, "Oh no, you erased the canon." It's like, okay, well, this is a different interpretation, and that's kind of what I would rather see.
It's why that Mufasa movie worked for a lot more people than that Lion King movie did, where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird and still they're not that many expressions on these characters' faces, but new music, new story. I can engage with this as it is, as it's instead of comparing it to the movie from 1994.
Yeah.
And that's what's holding this movie back. Is I'm watching again. This entire trailer is just Moana's greatest hits. If you were to watch like a YouTube compilation of its best scenes, that's what this trailer would be. But everything looks worse.
Yeah.
Also, the lighting in this thing is just terrible all the time. I don't understand it.
It's either too dark or overexposed. I don't.
Oh yeah, and somebody pointed out that you can tell it's on the volume because the backlighting is the same. The sun is always in their face, even if they're in
Yeah.
two different directions. It's just like, all right, well, I'm done ranting about Moana. I'm sorry. I know I got really too passionate
You're
there.
good.
Calm now.
I, I, I ranted about Harry Potter. You could rant about Moana.
I don't even love Moana like that. That's the sad part. I'm just tired of Disney remakes.
I don't even love Harry Potter that much. I mean, I grew up with it, but it's not like I'm going to Harry Potter conventions or.
I I would go to conventions for our next story, and that it's gonna raise my blood pressure one more time.
Yeah.
So, somehow the Lord of the Rings has returned. Take us through it.
So on Tuesday, Peter Jackson posted this video and he was like, "Hey, I'm Peter Jackson. Andy Serkis is right now working on The Hunt for Gollum. We're really excited about that movie, but we have another one coming up. And here's my special guest, the guy who was just fired by our studio's new owner. That's the weird thing. I will get into
Yeah,
that. Stephen Colbert, because he's not going to be hosting the Late Show anymore, is writing a new Lord of the Rings movie, which will be based on the eighth chapter of the Fellowship of the Ring. He's co-writing this movie. It's called Shadow of the Past. His son is also writing it. Okay, and this is the description according to Deadline. Set 14 years after the passing of Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. Well, after the passing of Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure. Meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. Why are we doing this? The only reason why I'm not furious is okay, Stephen Colbert is like a mega fan, so that's cool. That doesn't mean he should. And also, I don't like that he's having his son co write this because that's the nepotism we're kind of talking about. Like I can accept some of these nepo baby actors because it's like okay they've been training for that.
sure.
Their parents probably are like you're gonna be acting now, or they were just like I want the dough my parents are making. The parents are like I don't. You got to work for it. That's what Idris Elba does. That's why I always will respect him forever.
Mhm.
But I don't like that either. Can we just let this franchise be? This does not need a legacy. Why are we doing it about in between chapters? These movies are long, and you're gonna be making like a 4-hour movie, probably based on a chapter of a book or a paragraph, like The Hunt for Gollum. From the director of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Andy Serkis, great actor. He has not directed a good movie. You know that new Animal Farm movie that looks terrible that's coming out like in 2 months?
Yep.
You know who directed it? Andy Serkis.
Yep.
Why?
Because
I know.
because he's a name from the original films that unsuspecting fans would be like, I know that guy. That's sick. And I don't know. At least this movie makes more sense to me than The Hunt for Gollum.
Oh, it does. I just
But doing these at all is it's so crazy to me. I don't know why we're doing it. I know why we're doing it. Like we said, for Harry Potter, because of money. But I feel like Lord of the Rings fans are different from most fans, where it's like I think they just won't show up for these.
No, they are not. They didn't show
Like
up for the War for the Rohirrim. Rings of Power, the only reason that show is continuing is because Amazon dumped already so much money into it that they
yeah,
have to renew it. It's like we're either burning it over $1 billion or we could just get like 5 views from people who
yeah.
still watch that.
Like I think Lord of the Rings fans are like, hey, our trilogy is perfect. We just won't show up for this nonsense as you milking the franchise.
Yeah.
And I don't think these movies will do well.
No.
Hunt for Gollum, I don't think it's gonna do well. This one might if you get um, Sean Austin to lead this movie with a young protagonist to play his daughter. Um,
Um, I did want to bring up one thing because you reminded me with Hunt for
yeah,
Gollum. We're talking because we're going to talk a little bit later for just a brief bit about Doomsday that I don't think is going to be happening
sure.
anymore because of something. Um, a year later, Secret Wars is also sharing a release date with the Hunt for Gollum. Yeah,
Secret Gollum, is that what we're gonna call that day?
Gollum Wars.
Gollum Wars. Oh God, no. I am praying that movie just doesn't happen. I'm hoping that we lose it like we almost lost Toy Story. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh well, movie's gone. Delete off the hard drive. Um yeah, I just this is gonna happen, and I guess this is just the reality we live in. You almost have to become callous, where it's like they're eventually gonna ruin your favorite things.
Yeah.
And you have to just be okay with that.
Terminator ended with Judgment Day. That's how I believe it.
That's my canon.
Yeah. Two
Same
movies.
thing. Same thing with Rocky. I just forget some of those exist.
Yeah,
A couple
Rocky
of them
Five
just
never happened.
yeah, like Rocky Five didn't have. We go straight to Creed, man. Rocky
No,
Balboa was
Rocky
okay.
Balboa, I will say.
Yeah,
2006. There's 5 original Rocky movies. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Rocky Balboa. And
yeah.
then Creed trilogy.
It's funny. Not to go on a tangent, but this is how I view comic books. Where it's like, if there's something I don't like that happened in comic books, I just say it didn't happen. I was like, all right, Spider-Man has existed for 70 years. There's a story where Norman Osborn bangs Gwen Stacy, and I'm just like, yeah, it never happened.
What?
Yes, that happens at one point. But my point is, comic book fans all collectively choose to ignore that ever happened, and I think we're gonna have to start doing this with. We're gonna get 3 more Lord of the Rings movies that nobody wants, but we're gonna pretend only the first 3 happened. This is my point.
The thing is, I think they should wait. I hope they don't start filming this like next year. I don't think they will because Hunt for Gollum took 2 years before cameras started rolling. It was announced like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And just now it's happening because they announced Hunt for Gollum like right after the Lord of Ring Gollum game. That everybody, my roommate and I still joke about that game.
Did you guys ever play it? Did you pick it
No,
up to play, see how bad it was?
no, I'm not wasting my money.
We've wasted our money on worse. Come on now. It's for the
Yeah,
memes.
maybe, maybe I'll eventually do it because they're yeah. But yeah, because I think you're right, and I never really thought of it like that. But yeah, I think this is such like a cynical like IP grab, and they tried to do something with War for the Rohirrim,
Right.
where even like some fans were like, "Oh, it's like going to be an anime. That's actually kind of interesting." And then the first trailer came out, and they all turned on it quickly, and I still have never seen it.
I didn't either. And I remember we were working at Collider at the time,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy. And I just was no help to Ross because
Yeah.
it's just like I'm not seeing that, but I'm sorry, I checked out. Good luck.
I remember our friend Aiden, he saw it and he was like, I was kind of, he was like, this was horrible. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to see it. But
Yeah, but I feel like like some fandoms are content starved, where it's like we get nothing when, like, I think of somebody who's a fan of Masters of the Universe, right? Even if they
yeah.
think that trailer looks bad, they're gonna go see it because it's like I get nothing for He-Man since the '80s, and they're gonna show up and they're gonna try and support it. I feel like Lord of the Rings fans are like, we are content with our 3 movies, and we don't have to put up with this.
Yeah. The, the first two, the Hobbit movies even have some of their defenders. I'm not like huge on them, but
Now, those are movies I still have not seen. I've seen the first one. I did not watch the sequels.
I like Desolation of Smaug. I didn't care for Battle of the Five Armies, but you know what? It should have been one movie
Yeah.
or two, not a trilogy. But that's besides the point. Do you want to get on to our next topics?
Pick whichever one you want to start with. We can go from there.
I'll start with an actor who is the star of a movie we talked about earlier, Ryan Gosling. So he's like on top of the world right now. He also next year has Star Wars Starfighter coming out. Movie I would probably be infinitely more excited about if it wasn't Sean Levy directing it. Because it's Gosling in Star Wars, and also Aaron Pierre and Amy Adams and Mia Goth and Matt Smith. Like the cast is so good. I'm gonna be bummed when it's not good, but I like the writer.
I
Um,
I want to ask before you go off of the Star Wars of it all for a second. There
uh,
is that Gosling's first like franchise movie? Am I missing one?
I mean, the Gray Man tried to be a friend, but I think it is.
That's crazy.
I mean, the Fall Guy was a Barbie, you could say,
I
or
guess.
the Fall Guy's a reboot of a TV show. But
Okay.
I wouldn't count either of
But this
those.
is like the first time he's entering an existing, like, Star Wars has been a thing, and he's now leading
Yeah,
there.
this
Yeah.
is because he's never done superhero stuff.
Yeah. That's
Um,
interesting. I'm surprised it took him this long. Way to carve out a cool career in spite of that.
yeah, you know what? I'm still gonna see that opening day. It's my guy. It's literally me. Um, anyway, he's now gonna have 2 major movies coming out next year because he's teaming up with the Academy Award-winning filmmakers Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, guys behind Everything Everywhere All at Once, for their long-awaited next movie. It will have been 5 years though since Everything Everywhere, over 5 years. We don't know the title. We know it's gonna be not with A24, it's with Universal. So I'm assuming this movie is going to have a pretty hefty budget. Everything Everywhere had a small budget, but it felt big. So I am fascinated to see what they do with like a boatload of money. So it'll probably look unlike anything. He's going to star in it. They've described it as a big, fun sci-fi action comedy with a big heart, which kind of describes Everything Everywhere. Very existential. Describes Everything Everywhere. I don't care. I want this. It's filming this summer. Can't wait. Gosling is just like on top of it. He also probably saw it's like you gave Jamie Lee Curtis an Oscar for doing kind of nothing. I want my Oscar. And if these nerds are trying to manifest me being snubbed already, even though it's early in the year, I'm sorry, there's like a backlash against Project Hail Mary that I'm not going to get into, but it makes me so mad, these freaking hipsters. Anyway, I'm excited. Give me it. I can't wait to see what these guys do with like a blockbuster budget because it's probably going to be unlike anything we'll ever see.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
got
hyped. I think this is coming out November of next year, which is gonna just be another stacked like fall Christmas season. Those last couple months of the year, um, I didn't love Everything Everywhere All at Once as much as everyone else, but I still think it's a really well made movie with a great
yeah,
premise, and I want to see their next film. Like I could walk away and say, "Oh, this movie wasn't entirely for me," but I want to see what you do next. That's how I feel about this one. So I am beyond hyped. And Gosling's just been on a heater. Like
Yeah,
his last like 5 movies have all been fantastic.
not the Gray Man.
I forgot that one happened. His last 3 movies since we're gonna skip the Great.
Yeah,
Never watched it.
it was fine. I didn't even think it was terrible. It was just like, why are you doing this, Ryan?
Was this a Netflix movie?
Yeah, it was.
I'm still on a pretty good streak of not watching Netflix movies. I did watch Frankenstein.
I know you did. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I don't think we could really say much because we don't know much about it. I love Ryan Gosling. I am a fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I kind of get why some people don't. I would understand why like you wouldn't care for it. Like it's also a movie I would never show to like my parents because
Yeah.
they would watch it and be like, "What the fuck is this?" Not for me. It's not a movie for everyone, but you know what? I don't care. Um, Gosling's working with them, and that's all I want.
Yeah, it's one of those. We talk about like Hollywood isn't star driven anymore, but like this is one of those news stories where it's like Gosling's a name in a Daniels movie. They're great directors, and this is one of those few times where it's like I want to see what that pairing does.
Yeah.
What is that movie starring Gosling, written and directed by the Daniels, do? What does that look like?
Gosling, I'll say one more thing is Gosling wasn't the actor I thought who would be working with them for a long time. Like ever since they announced, like, oh, we're working with Universal. This is might feel random, but I always thought I'm like, oh, they'd probably go after like Jenna Ortega for because she
Mm.
seems like she would probably fit their style like perfectly. So I expected somebody like that, or even like a Jacob Elordi. Like Gosling is like movie star. He's might be at the highest point in his career. Well, I guess Barbie. He was,
But no, that's my point. Is like he's on that run of like going from Barbie
yeah,
to the Gray Man, the Fall
yeah,
Guy. He's in his action hero era. That's what we're
yeah.
entering into right now, and it's like, oh, he's doing sci-fi. He's doing, these big blockbuster movies. He was the guy in Drive, where it's like, oh, the film bros kind of dug him, and now it's like, oh, he's
He's
a
everybody's.
superstar.
You got to
Yep.
share him.
There's enough Gosling to go around.
You know,
Uh,
when his daughters are grown up, because he's like, I don't want to do darker stuff right now because I'm a dad. My daughters are still young, and I'm really a family. He's a family man. I gotta respect it.
mhm.
You know, when he's in like 20 years from now, when he's in his 60s, he's probably gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna be weird again, and I'll welcome it with open arms. You just gotta be patient.
Yeah, that's the thing about being a creative is that you're gonna do this your entire life. So yeah,
Yeah,
he can take 20 years off and say, I'm not gonna play villains or psychopaths or blah blah blah. And then he'll come back in like 18 years and be like American Psycho style, baby.
yeah.
uh, Speaking of creatives that we love,
Mhm.
we've gotta talk our next story. Ryan Coogler is doing the X Files for Hulu.
They keep labeling it, even Deadline labeled it as a reboot. It's not. It's a spinoff. Gillian Anderson, um, who was in the original, is
Yeah.
one of the leads. Forget. That's my one. She's Scully. She was like, "Oh yeah, I might be in it." We're Kugler and I are talking. I don't
I did
know.
see that story this week and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, okay, okay.
I just like it because it's Kugler. He's a big fan of it. They haven't ordered it to series yet, so that's a little like because I really want this very badly because I just want more Ryan Coogler stuff. And I love Danielle Deadweiler. She is like one of the most. She honestly, I would make the case she is the most underappreciated actress working right now. How did she not
That's
win an
fair.
Oscar for Till? It's beyond me. How is she not nominated for the piano lesson? She's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
she's phenomenal.
and then Hamish Patel is also so great. You know, people clown on the Danny Boyle Beatles movie, the Yesterday. I thought he was
Yeah.
really delightful in that. That was his breakout role.
He was great
Um,
in that movie.
he was. He's very charismatic. So I'm all in on their pairing. I just hope this happens because we just had last week, it was reported Hulu was working with another Academy Award winner, A friend of Ryan Coogler's, Chloe Zhao, was working on the Buffy reboot.
Oh god, yeah, that's a whole
This
story.
had a very similar development where it's like we're just doing the pilot. This show I think is going to work. We kind of saw already Chloe Zhao is not really like invincible because Eternals versus Ryan Coogler is like on a heater, you
Yeah,
know? He's not made anything bad. The closest
ever.
thing is he
Crazy.
executive producer in Space Jam 2, but I don't think he had anything to do with that movie. I think he was just like how they were like, how do we get Michael B. Jordan to be in this?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited to see this reimagining, I guess, of that world. I think Hulu would be crazy not to pick this series
They're
up, give
gonna
it a
do
full
it.
series order. Yeah, I mean, Hulu owned by Disney. Kevin Feige knows not to piss him off. I think Marvel and Disney and Coogler's relationship and that entire brand is going to be like, yeah, we got you. Just go get Black Panther 3 done and you can do your show. um, but yeah, the two leads, they're great. I'm really interested to see what his spin is. I think of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, and I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna go compared to Twilight Zone because that only lasted like what 2-3 seasons maybe.
2 seasons and you can't watch anymore. I think the thing with
Yeah,
Twilight Zone was he wasn't directing that. I don't even
no,
think he was writing that. He was just like the host and they gave him a producer credit. Versus
mm-hmm.
this, Ryan Coogler is not the showrunner, but he is directing and writing the pilot. And when a director is attached to a pilot, they set the tone of what the show is going to look and feel like.
Right.
Um, so, and I would imagine with how passionate he's like talking about this, he's going to be pretty involved with it. I don't think he's just going to do one and done with an episode. I think he's going to be around kind of helping with the showrunner. Jennifer Yale is the showrunner. And, I probably won't watch the original X Files before this show. I'll probably just jump right into this show. I think the
The
show is going to
original
be
show
great.
is 11 seasons. Man, I forgot how long TV ran back in the day.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Wonder Man
Yes.
since we were talking about Chloe Zhao and Ryan Coogler. I think it's time to talk about Wonder Man. It's getting renewed for a second season,
Hell yeah.
and I think this is way bigger news than people realize because is Wonder Man the first show besides Loki to get a second season from the MCU? I'm not talking like Daredevil is a Netflix thing, kinda that's been ported over. Like a Disney Plus original. Is Wonder Man the first like MCU series?
Besides Loki, live action wise, yes. Because what if?
Because what if? Yeah, sure. But I think this is a big deal. Like this show, everybody on the internet was like, Marvel doesn't care about this. They're not promoting it. They kind of just dropped it and forgot it. It clearly did well enough for them to say we're gonna run it back, and I am so excited.
Me too.
How are you feeling about seeing more Wonder Man?
You know, that's the one thing is Marvel's trying to change the way they do TV. So it's not. I'm still shocked because I remember there was like early rumors that they might scrap Wonder Man before it came out. Like I think in the midst of filming during like the writers' strike.
Yeah,
Um, I'm glad that didn't happen. Everybody who I know who has seen Wonder Man has loved it. It was such a breath of fresh air compared to most of like the Marvel TV shows. Yahya Abdul Mateen II is like he wasn't in like he during like in 2019 and early days of COVID, like he was in everything because he was in Watchmen, Aquaman,
yep,
whatever. He did what he could. He was in the Michael Bay movie Ambulance, which kicks ass. He was in the Matrix 4, which I didn't like what they did with his take on Morpheus, but he was good in it. But like he wasn't in like a ton in like the past few years, and then he's back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I love this guy.
yeah.
Give me more of him immediately. This guy's a charisma machine. He's great. Him and Ben Kingsley are great. I hope they don't dive more into superhero-y stuff. They probably will, but I think I trust the creative team. It's Destin Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest back, and GC 2 stars back. I'm happy. I'm very excited.
I am so happy that this show got renewed. For all the things you just said, the creative team is phenomenal. This is a series that, I'm gonna be real, was not on my radar. Like, this was one of those where, like, oh, I'm gonna skip another MCU thing because I don't care. It's just more Disney Plus filler. And then I watched the first episode,
Yeah.
and this is the first Marvel thing that I've fallen in love with since No Way Home. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is delightful. Yaya is such a great actor with this role of Simon Williams, and Ben Kingsley. Like, I never really liked Trevor Slattery as like a character. Ironically, I do really think Iron Man 3 is a good movie. So like, I don't have a problem with that character existing, but him being like in Shang-Chi and then him being in this, I'm like, why do we keep bringing this dude back? I don't need to see more of Trevor Slattery. But Destin Daniel Cretton pulls something so interesting with this character in this like appearance, and of course Ben Kingsley's a phenomenal actor. So you give him something to work with, and he really makes an endearing, like, lovable character. And I actually like Trevor Slattery, and I want to see him. And I was so happy, not to spoil the ending, to see what happens with that character. And I'm excited to see what they do next with these two. Um, they're such a great duo. I think what's crazy is the writing and the acting is so strong in this series that you don't feel that it's really just those two.
Yeah.
We're just taking those two and putting them in a different location. Occasionally we'll introduce like Simon's mother or a damage control agent, but like the majority of this show is just those two playing off each other.
Wait a minute. I just thought of something. What if in season 2, because they can't go back in Hollywood, and we're talking about they redeem the character of Trevor Slattery. What if they go Bollywood, and then Kingo from Eternals, Kumail Nanjiani, returns?
I'm honestly surprised that Kingo didn't cameo in this show at all. Like, we had Joey Pants be like a recurring role, and that's funny. But I was surprised. I just like we didn't get Kingo to be in the Wonder Man movie that we're making as like a supporting character. That would have been great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I need more Camille Nanjiani in everything.
Yeah.
Like, so that would be a ton of fun. But yeah, I'm with you. I just don't. I think the magic of this show is that it's MCU adjacent. It's clearly in that world. We have a character that was a villain in an Iron Man movie. We have a main character who's like a mutant technically. So like we're in that world, but I'm glad that it's not, oh, how does this connect to Kang? How does this connect to Doomsday? We're gonna name drop Avengers. It's just like, hey, he's a superpowered individual in the Marvel universe, just trying to live a normal life. And I think that's what makes the show so easy to get into. And you don't have that MCU baggage. And I don't want to mess that up. And I don't want to push him on a West Coast Avengers too quick. I guess we can build to that one day, because I know at the end of the day this is a superhero property. But make that a season 4 thing. I want season 2 to still just be about these two dudes.
It's like because I always use my parents as an example, but like they didn't watch much of like the Disney Plus shows because they're like, I don't want to do like homework. I told them to watch Wonder Man. They loved it. The only episode they didn't care for was the Doorman one, which our friend Garrett was also like, I didn't get what that was. We're Doorman truthers. We've been into Doorman since even before the show came out.
The Doorman's entire fan club is basically in this room. We're missing Cliff, but like
exactly.
we stand Doorman. The fact that we didn't have an emergency pod for Doorman showed that we had so much restraint.
Yeah.
I want a whole chatter after episode on Doorman and show that Kevin actually listens to us.
Yes. Because I didn't know. Like, I think I just like looked up random Marvel characters. Like, that's what I Googled, and Doorman was there. I was like, Doorman, what a cool guy.
That's my point, though. That's such a great episode, and that's a great reinterpretation of the Marvel universe. And this is why Destin Daniel Cretton, I feel like, should be like a cornerstone of that MCU brain trust. Like, he should step into like James Gunn's shoes, and like you just let him do whatever he wants, and let him keep churning out movies if he wants to. He might do like Ryan Coogler and say, hey, I want to go make my own thing for a little bit, and I'll come back and do Shang-Chi. I know he's got like Naruto on the table too, so he might be a little busy. But
Yeah.
these are the types of projects I think the MCU should be doing if they're going to keep doing the Disney Plus thing. Like you need to have a comedy like a She-Hulk or a thriller like Moon Knight. You need to make things that are different and unique that people can just jump into and enjoy that show. Like I love that you don't need to watch Daredevil to understand anything else in the MCU. But if you really love Daredevil, you also don't have to watch the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
That's how I think these things should go.
Make it feel not like a movie split into chapters.
Yeah.
But as an actual, make it feel like it should be something that I should be watching on my TV screen. Like Wonder Man did, or I mean, I guess Loki was the one time it kind of worked, and WandaVision worked, but like you look at, and I mean I do like Hawkeye a lot, but you look at like um Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Secret Invasion, where it's like, okay, this just feels like one kind of messy movie, just you just cut it up.
One thing I appreciate about Wonder Man is that that was a binge release. But as I binged it, I understood why. Like I don't think Wonder Man would have hit the same as a weekly release.
No.
And I'm glad Marvel realized, hey, Wonder Man should be a binge drop. Daredevil should be a weekly release. And I think that works best for both shows. So I feel like they're finally getting it. You're right. Like WandaVision was so stylized. It had such a unique vision. Not to be funny, but it had such a unique vision where each episode is a different era of TV and we're piecing this puzzle together and it was a ton of fun. I think the rest of the shows, you're right. Like Kevin Feige even said, we're making these like movies. And it's like that's not how TV works, bro.
No.
It's just I don't want to watch a 6-hour movie. So now I don't want to watch a 6-hour movie cut up into 1 hour increments. It's just Loki worked enough. But again, Loki's also like that first season's very like Doctor Who inspired. So like I think it still was taking its inspiration from TV. Whereas Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like you were saying, is taking its inspiration from Captain America movies, which isn't TV.
Yeah. And it was like used as homework to set up Brave New World, which
yeah. Spoilers for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, I guess. This week, Nintendo and Illumination decided to just keep yapping. And so, Star Fox is going to be in Mario Galaxy. Do a barrel roll. We got this movie coming up in like a week, and I am shocked that it came up so quickly. I know I don't care about this franchise that much, but I am shocked this movie stuck up on me this fast. I did not expect it to be this soon. That's crazy. So by the time people are listening to this, it's probably already out. But your boy Glenn Powell is voicing our fantastic Mr. Fox here. What are your thoughts on that? Do you like this casting? Do you like this character? Did you play any Star Fox?
I mean, I just know him from Smash Bros. I know his games a little bit. But they haven't made a Star Fox game in so like long. I would assume because he's.
So the rumor has it is that Nintendo is going to announce a Star Fox game later this year for like a Christmas release, and so I wonder if this is just like product placement. Like he's going to pop up and it's going to be like, get on your Switch too.
I guess. I mean, both the Pikmin are also in this movie. We know Rob the robot is also in this movie. People are like, oh, Smash Bros. But I'm like, you can't. Sony owns the Zelda movie rights. So can you do that? I don't know. I don't care. I think this is probably just going to be a quick role, but it still gets me hype. And I love Glenn Powell at this casting. I remember when they released that poster, deep down in my head, I'm like, it has to be Glenn Powell. It has to be. But then people are like, oh, it's going to be Joel McHale or it's going to be Chris Pratt doing 2 roles, or it's going to be Pedro Pascal. And I'm like, I don't like any of those ideas. And then they did the best thing possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really funny how we're like, he was in Top Gun. He could do this. And it's like, sure. Glenn Powell is, as you guys know, he's a great actor. I don't know how big of a role this character has. I feel like
small.
I feel like part of the plot of Mario galaxies, and Mario is going through different galaxies, and so he probably runs into Star Fox for like a scene. I don't know if it's going to be much bigger than like Donkey Kong was in the first movie.
I think it's going to be smaller. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing is he's not part of like the press junket for this
right.
movie at all. Donald Glover was like announced like a couple weeks ago, and he's even part of it. How much is he just going to be saying Yoshi? Is he like a Vin Diesel thing? I don't care. He was like, I wanted to do this. This was not them going to me. This was me saying I want to do it. And I'm like, I respect that. Always
That's
respected Donald Glover. We love him. But
I think Yoshi's gonna talk. I feel like with these characters, Nintendo knows that they have to just let them speak in full sentences. Like Mario speaks in full sentences. He doesn't just say "Mamma Mia." So I feel like Yoshi's probably going to be a talking dinosaur. My question is, will Yoshi be pooping out eggs and throwing them at people constantly? That's my question.
I'm kind of excited now though, because I'm like, there's rumors that there's going to be more, and like one of the directors, I think, like posted on like Instagram. It's like, oh, you've seen nothing yet. So I'm like, oh, are we gonna get like some other characters like making just random roles in movies? And look, I know I don't like fan service Easter eggs everywhere, but you know, we don't see Nintendo characters on the big screen. This is a first.
This is why I would not be surprised if we do Smash.
Oh yeah,
Like they're putting all these characters in these, like, again, we already have met Donkey Kong and Mario, Luigi, Yoshi's going to be in this one, Star Fox and Pikmin. Spoilers, I guess that was revealed too. We didn't put
and
that
Rob the robot.
yeah, we didn't put that in the headline. So we're really only missing Pikachu and Link. Like from like the traditional like original Smash roster.
And Samus.
Samus, yeah, I'm talking about like having the rights to do it. Like I don't know if Pikachu and Zelda, if they're tied up in like weird um, movie rights, but like Nintendo can just pull the trigger on this at any moment, and it feels like I don't know if that'll be the third Mario movie or if that'll be the fourth Mario movie, and it's going to be a big crossover event thing. But I don't think they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. It's my point.
Sony's shared their characters before. They're sharing Spider-Man. They can share Link.
I don't even know if Sony owns those rights or if Nintendo licensed the live action rights to them to make that movie, and Nintendo can still do the animated stuff. I don't know.
I think because that's what they're doing with Barbie. Because Illumination's working on an animated Barbie movie, but we just had Greta Gerwig do one for Warner Brothers. So I wouldn't be shocked if they just have two separate Links, which, you know what? We've never had Link on the big screen. I'm fine with it.
And like I was saying off camera, but like the whole point of The Legend of Zelda is that they are different iterations of those characters. Animated Link being completely different from live action Link is kind of on par for Zelda anyway.
Yeah.
This will be fun. Let's check out the Mario
movie. 2 Links in it already.
Yeah. And 2 Zeldas.
Yeah.
3 Links, I think. Hold on. We've got Young Link, Toon Link, and then Breath of the Wild Link and Smash Ultimate.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm intrigued. I like the trailers. I like that we still have Mini Bowser that we're taking on an adventure. That should be fun. But I want to talk about some slop, Nate. Run us to this next story. The evil has been defeated.
Woo! Rest in piss. OpenAI's Sora. It's not happening anymore. And with that, Disney pulled out of their deal with the company. Then I just wrote, hell yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think this is just...
For the people who don't know what Sora is, because we are a movie podcast, not a tech podcast. Tell them what it is.
Sora is an AI video generating app made by people who made ChatGPT. Well, I know people who use ChatGPT for their own like actual like day-to-day things. Sora was a slot factory that was mainly used to create fetish videos and disinformation. Wasn't very good. And then it launched in like October to like the public. And then the thing with AI videos is there's so much demand and it takes up so much like water.
Yeah.
First of all. um, and just money that the bubble popped. And I think this is a good thing because, I was scared looking at AI because even at the beginning of the year, I was like telling my dad, I'm like, I'm still on my job search and I'm like, AI is constantly evolving. Like, look at how it was like a year ago. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have imagined it to look like this now. Now I feel like we're finally kind of scaling back again. And I think that's a good thing. YouTube's starting to pull down these AI like content mill channels. They're like posting fake movie trailers. Fact that Disney pulled out of that deal, I think, is a good thing. Um, sorry, Mike, you can't make videos of you holding hands with Ariel.
Dang it. She's my favorite princess
Yeah.
though. No, but like the idea that Disney signed a $1 billion deal with them in the first place is crazy. And we referenced this at the top of the show of like Disney has a new CEO. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think he realized that Bob Iger's investment into AI was too soon. And I feel like I think it was the Hollywood Reporter that had like an article that went up, and it's like the artsy folks and the tech folks don't agree, and
Yeah.
that's always going to cause friction because the thing about generative AI is that it's never seemed helpful. Like
No.
occasionally you'll have somebody be like, "Oh, you can create the thing faster." But the pitch has always really been, we don't need to pay animators anymore. We don't need to pay writers anymore. And it's like if you're introducing a service where its only function is to replace the humans that you're selling it to, what did you think the reaction was going to be? And it's always been soulless and dead. You can see it in their eyes where it's just like there's no emotion. It's just Robert Downey Jr. with like a rubbery face, and it's like I'm Doctor Doom now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that generative AI is dead. I do think AI still can have a place in society,
Yeah.
you know, but generative AI had no upside. And I think it's weird that they kept trying to push this as some sort of innovation and this is the future. And like you said, it's so bad for the planet because of the data centers and the water that it's wasting. And it's causing the price of everything to go up because the
Mm-hmm.
demand is so high. But the demand is high, and we don't even know if this is going to pay off. Because again, who are you selling this to? The people listening to this podcast or the people who are going to watch these movies don't want that.
No. Nobody does. Like, that's the thing. Like, I even talked to my dad. He was like, he does not like going on YouTube as much anymore because he's like, you can tell with the AI stuff. He's like, I'm not going to watch that, you know?
Yeah,
And I think that kind of speaks. The only reason I bring up my parents again is I think that speaks to like the general public. Like,
right.
nobody really wants to see that kind of content. And look, I agree with you. I think social media kind of views like AI as a very black and white thing where I'm like, there's uses for it. This is not one of the uses it should be made for. This is actually replacing jobs. I think the only thing it should be used for is making somebody's job easier
Yeah,
if they need that. Like, but besides that, no. And I think this is
especially
a scale
because
back.
we're in the yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say because we're also in the arts, it just makes the internet worse. Because like what your dad was saying, right? It makes YouTube worse. There's so many times where like my mom would send me like, "Oh, this is a cute cat video or a dog video," and I have to just say that's AI. And it's like we used to be able to share funny memes and videos and things from the internet. It's like, "Oh, this dog did something really cute," and I have to say, "You see how it has like a fifth paw come out of nowhere and then disappear? It's
Yeah.
AI." And I think it's ruining that wonder and amazement of the internet and of just again art in general where it's like now I have to second guess everything I see, and that takes a lot of the fun out of discovering something on TikTok or Reels or Twitter, right? um because it's like, oh, this is probably fake and I'm being rage baited, or again, these content farms are just being used for nefarious purposes. All of the bots that get created of like, oh, we support this political party. And it's
Yeah.
like those people weren't real. Those were chat bots, and you can just beat them out very easily. It's like all of these AI centers can go for all I care.
What
I'm gonna be
I,
real.
I still don't know what the one that's like going viral right now that I hope means scaling back is like Fruit Love Island or something. Have you even heard of this?
I saw one TikTok reference it and I said not interested and TikTok kicked it out my algorithm.
Lucky,
but but I'm like this has just got to be like something from Cloud, I think. Probably.
probably.
But yeah, I try to keep my feed AI free. Um because yeah, I saw like one video of like Fruit Love Island like who finds this entertaining? It's just watch Love Island. There's like 10 different versions of that show on Netflix right now. Bubble is popping. Good news. Disney backed out of this deal. Good news. The evil has been defeated for now.
You know
I'm
what?
happy.
You know what does need to be defeated right now? Some dang
Dinosaurs?
dinosaurs.
Heck yeah. Our fave, Anne Hathaway, is fighting some dinosaurs. Nate, you just showed me this trailer before we went live. So I want
Uh,
you to pitch this to the audience and tell them what they're about to see as I pull up the footage here.
This is the movie The End of Oak Street. It is a new movie produced by J.J. Abrams, directed by David Robert Mitchell, who did It Follows and Under the Silver Lake. This is a movie that has been it's been in the works for a while. It's kind of Twilight Zone-y. It's set in the late 70s, early 80s by the looks of it. Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor are a family with their two kids, and their neighborhood is suddenly, by some anomaly, is taken. We don't know if it's back in time, to another dimension, what, but to a prehistoric area where dinosaurs are now running rampant in their neighborhood. And it looks incredible. Look at that split diopter shot. Inject it into me right away. The dog better not die.
The dog is gonna make it out. I firmly believe that. Will the rest of the family make it out? I don't know.
I don't care.
Um,
Well, actually, no, I do care about Anne Hathaway.
save Anne Hathaway, please.
Yeah.
The rest of this family can go though. But I'm so intrigued by this trailer. We're playing it on mute. If you guys are listening to this on the Spotify feed, well, if you're on Spotify, you have the video anyway, so that's good.
Ah.
But everybody else, go check it out on YouTube. This trailer is so great because you get this glimpse of the dinosaur at the end. I'm like, oh, okay, we've got some sort of supernatural thriller thing going on. I'm like, dinosaurs, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. I am in for this movie. I'm glad you introduced this to me. I did not know this trailer came out. I'm sold. I need this movie yesterday.
I think this is so creative too, because like they've tried to do non-Jurassic dinosaur movies that kind of came and went. Like there's the Adam Driver one, the 65.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Very bad, but like this looks different enough.
Yeah.
This feels like a completely kind of fresh take. It's kind of reminding me, there was like people, because it's J.J. Abrams producing it, people are like, oh, is this going to be Cloverfield? Is it not? I don't think it is, but it doesn't need to be. I think J.J. Abrams, for as many, he's done some misses, but some of his producing work has been great. He gave us the original Cloverfield. He produced that. 10 Cloverfield Lane. He produced that. Overlord is so freaking fun. Have you seen Overlord?
I haven't actually.
It's so fun. It is so much fun.
Nice.
And this movie looks very Amblin like.
Yeah.
Which, down to like the score, David Robert Mitchell, I love It Follows. I'm glad they finally said the sequel is happening, because they announced it like a couple years ago and then nothing. That's still happening. And I just like this concept. I like of taking this like neighborhood from like the past and just putting it into dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, you give me dinosaurs and Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway, and I'm there.
And the kid from Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Again, this is what happens when we mostly report on these bigger blockbusters. Like our last story, we're going to talk about like Doomsday. But I've just really loved getting that trailer and then seeing August as the date. Like,
Yeah.
thank God, this is gonna be so soon. I can't wait. I don't really like getting trailers and be like, oh, this is 2 years away. I'm glad I get to watch this summer. Last story, we got Jumanji
Uh-huh.
release date change. This you said this entire shift kind of changes that Christmas release schedule in
Uh-huh.
December. What's going on here?
So, Jumanji, for a while, was going to come out December 11th. Jumanji movies have always done very well. The past two came out during the Christmas corridor, and they competed with the Star Wars movies. The first Jumanji came out alongside The Last Jedi, and then when Last Jedi had kind of a divisive reputation, it caused that movie and The Greatest Showman to have legs. So they quickly greenlit a sequel. And when everybody saw The Rise of Skywalker and rightfully said this movie fucking sucks, they were like, oh, let's see the new Jumanji. The last one was funny. And they're like, this isn't as good, but it's still pretty funny. And then nothing. And then The Rock was like, I want to be a serious actor. And then the movie didn't do well, which was sad because it was good. And now he's back doing Moana. But now he is doing this new Jumanji movie. I think it's already filmed. I would hope. Yeah. They film these movies fast. It was supposed to come out December 11th. But if you know, the following week is Doomsday, where Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday are coming out. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Because now Jumanji has shifted its release date to a week after Doomsday, which is smart for a couple of reasons. One, while I think a December 11th would give it a bigger opening weekend, its legs would just be like, this might have been like 10 years ago, but remember during March Madness where the one player, his like legs to just like split on the floor.
Jeez, yeah, I didn't need that visual back, but yeah, I remember.
That's what would happen to Jumanji's legs.
Snaps in half. Gotcha.
Yeah, like so, just nothing. Now it can have legs, and I think Doomsday is going to take that spot because Dune is not moving. They have the IMAX. They're very adamant. And that gives them the upper hand over Disney. They're like, ha, we got IMAX. We can't leave. You don't.
Does Disney move back or up with Avengers?
1 week.
You think they'll move up? Okay. I was wondering if they take a step back and just say, we're going to go Christmas, New Year's and get those IMAX screens.
That's the thing. Dune has it for like 3 weeks.
Ah, okay. I thought they only had it for like those first 2.
And Jumanji did not have IMAX screens booked, which is a little weird.
Sure.
But also, I didn't know this until recently. Spider-Man's not even doing IMAX because the Odyssey's eaten into it.
That is crazy that Marvel is not going to be in IMAX this year. I don't know if that's just sign of theaters changing or if Marvel was just lazy and they didn't grab these screens.
But I think my thing that I think might happen is the opening weekend that Jumanji was set on, initially Netflix has this, I think it's a 2-week deal for Narnia exclusively in IMAX. Mm-hmm. Netflix is more interested in doing more traditional theatrical rollouts. I wonder if they do that and give Narnia something more traditional anyway, especially now that Harry Potter is going to be coming out. Sure. Like, do they really want to compete with like Narnia debuting on Netflix, or they want to give it a traditional release that they're now interested in doing? Do IMAX opening first 2 weeks, and they give it to Doomsday, part of a deal. I think that could happen.
Yeah,
it's a lot of studios involved, but I do not think Doomsday is actually going to happen because people are like, oh, this could be the new Barbenheimer. I've always said that's stupid because the whole thing with Barbenheimer is Oppenheimer and Barbie have 2 very different audiences.
Yeah.
They're 2 different movies. Dune and Avengers have very similar audiences. Also, Barbie was a pretty short movie. It's under like directly under 2 hours, like an hour 50. Oppenheimer's 3 hours. Both Dune and Avengers are probably going to be around the 3 hour mark. It's Christmas.
Dune is Yeah, Dune is definitely gonna be like a 240 probably, and Avengers is probably gonna hit 3 hours again.
Like, I, people do not have that kind of time during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Um,
it it'll I mean, I think the biggest thing in all of this is those IMAX screens like you were mentioning. So I feel like whatever's gonna happen to like I forgot about Narnia too and that getting a theatrical release. It's gonna be very interesting to see how that all plays into it. Um I didn't even think about Narnia and Harry Potter, like having to compete for those Christmas streaming numbers. Uh, yeah, it's a whole new wrinkle that I have to really think about. Again, like if you were the head of Disney, are you cool with just not getting the IMAX screens? Like people are gonna see the movie regardless. Sure, they won't pay for the premium format because it wouldn't be an option, but like do you want to just say, yeah, I don't care if Dune's coming out, I'm still gonna make $1 billion?
so I've been thinking about this, and I think regardless, I know both of us are probably more excited for Dune 3. Um,
Sure.
I definitely am. Doomsday is going to make more money. It just
Yeah.
is. It's more family friendly. It's more commercial. Dune Messiah is a very strange, surreal book. I know they're taking a lot of liberties, but
Right.
still. However, by opening on the same day, I actually think Doomsday has more to lose. I don't think it's going to cut into Dune's box office. I think it's going to cut into Doomsday's.
Okay.
Because there's going to be people who are like, I don't know. I feel like Dune is going to get the better reviews, obviously.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Dune is probably gonna try and get a Best Picture nom. You know, and
Yeah,
Doomsday is just going to pray that it is a competent, watchable movie.
yeah. And the thing is, if Doomsday, they're very. The thing is, they've already lost on one account. I, I think Disney keeps waiting for Warner Brothers to play chicken, and they're not going to because they have the IMAX screens and they cannot lose Denis Villeneuve, even though they are losing him for one movie with Bond.
Yeah.
But once he's done with Bond, they probably want him back. If
They
they
already
move,
lost Nolan. They can't afford to lose anyone else.
if they moved and got rid of the IMAX screens, that's like done, burnt bridge completely.
Fair.
And soon enough, not a lot of people are going to want to be working for Warner Brothers because of the new owners. Um,
If that goes through,
I don't.
subpoenas were going out this last weekend. I don't know how
Hell
much
yeah.
that's actually going to change anything, but yeah, we'll see.
I hope it doesn't. Fuck David Ellison. Anyway, that's what confused me with the Stephen Colbert news. I'm like, why they just fired you? Why are you gonna? That's, this is about Doomsday. Um, but they already lost. Dune has those IMAX screens fair and square. They booked it way before Doomsday moved to that December slot.
Yeah.
And I remember when Disney was the one studio who was mad about Netflix having the IMAX deal with Narnia. And initially I'm like, why? Because you wanted to play your like the animated movie like Hexed in IMAX, which I'm sorry, whenever you do one of your original animated movies and it has a male lead, that's when it bombs. Not a princess, not a female warrior. Those always tank. Strange World.
Yep.
Well, even Wish kind of bombed. I'm like, no. Now I think they did it because of Doomsday. They're mad because, but I think a deal is going to be worked out, and I think Doomsday, I think, can leg it out alongside Dune if it opens a weekend before. Versus
Gotcha.
if you keep topping these movies, it's not going to work out.
I think it's so interesting how afraid some of these studios are just to go like, we're gonna open on New Year's Day instead. We're still in that vacation period, but we're ahead of that Christmas rush because you're right. Like families specifically are probably gonna choose Avengers
Yeah.
over Dune. And then people like us, or just again adults who don't have children, will go see Dune. Probably
Jumanji, you mean? We're seeing
Jumanji,
Jumanji. No, we're
of
seeing
course.
Angry Birds 3. That's what we're seeing. The real adults in the room.
Heck yes. No, but like movie season is so interesting because I know you need to hit those pockets of time when people aren't working, right? So you want to hit summer, you want to hit Christmas and holidays. But a part of me is like, just move to January, dude. Nothing's ever in January. You can dominate in January, but I know studios probably wouldn't want to take that gamble. Like if you dropped an Avengers movie in January, it'll do fine, but
Oh,
you can't pitch that to the suits.
That's the thing, though. You make a good point. Look at American. I know this is over 10 years ago. Completely different kind of movie. Remember when American Sniper came out? It made it made close to $100 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
It's
And it's
limited
because
Christmas time, but like January needs movies.
yeah, January and February are generally dead, and we're like, it's a dead zone. We can just, especially when you're an IP like Marvel or Dune or Jumanji or whatever, you can just say, hey, we're gonna be that movie that stays in theaters from January to February, and you got nothing else to watch,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna make all the money. I'm one day someone's gonna think about that and be like, what if we just dropped Black Panther 3 in January 10th and see
I mean,
what
they came
happens?
close with the first Black Panther, which made nearly
Yeah.
$2 billion with the February release.
Right.
I mean, I know Captain America didn't do well when it released in February, but that wasn't a good movie. Black Panther was.
Exactly. Good movie. Like the formula, I think the hidden formula is good movie, dead zone, big profit.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Great, great episode. We had a
Yes.
lot to talk about, but we got through it. I'm so excited that we ended on a mostly positive note.
Yes.
We got really mad with Philosopher's Stone and Moana at the top of the show.
In Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings. But there's good things happening. I'm excited for the rest of the movie season. Nate, what you got going on? What you watching? What you writing about? Tell the people.
Well, right now I'm have to catch up. I'm catching up on some shows, so expect some reviews from me soon on Your Friends and Neighbors and the final season of The Boys. And I now have a Substack. Yeah, it's Movie House
Hey.
on Substack. That's the one thing I'm going to tout. That's what I care about more than any of my other social medias. Or you can just follow me at NateRichard98 on Instagram. But my Substack, Movie Hound, have a lot of reviews. Sometimes I just write reviews randomly, even if I wasn't planning on reviewing it initially. That's what happened when I saw Undertone last weekend.
That was a great review, by the way.
Thank
Loved
you.
it. I love getting the little notification in my email. It's like Movie Hound, new post. I'm just like, heck yes. Let me go click on this right away. I'm going to link the Substack, of course, in the description of this video and the pinned comment. So check that out. Of course, subscribe to Novice Cinephile here on YouTube. And like Nate, I'm kind of just here. I don't have other social medias that you probably care too much about besides TikTok. And I guess I'll start posting on Threads and Blue Sky a bit more so you guys can find me there too. But I got some cool stuff on this channel. I'm still working on that My Hero Academia video you guys requested. Of course, more episodes of Insider Chatter. And Leo from Geek of Goods and I are working on a thing that we're going to be publishing as well. So until next time, keep watching movies, like, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.
Jumanji.
Ha